Jin BTS receives jersey number 1 from the captain of the New Jersey Devils hockey team. What is the meaning behind this gift? The moment was too perfect to be staged. Just hours before his highly anticipated Seokjin_EP tour concert in Newark, Jin of BTS, global superstar and symbol of unwavering dedication, was handed a jersey unlike any other. It wasn't merely a piece of sportswear. It wasn't a marketing stunt. It wasn't just a gift. It was a statement, a message, a question to the world. Why was Jin given the number 1 jersey, and why now? In this city, by this person, Newark, known for its rich cultural intersections and fierce sports loyalty, suddenly became the site of a stunning crossover between music royalty and athletic prestige. The captain of the NHL team New Jersey Devils, Nico Hischier, emerged not on the ice but backstage at the arena where Jin was preparing for what fans are calling his most emotionally charged performance to date. In his hands, a specially crafted Devils jersey. On the back, JN. On the front, the unmissable number 1. There were no grand introductions, no flashy presentations, just a brief exchange, a respectful nod, and a gesture whose simplicity belied the weight it carried. In that moment, 2 worlds collided, one of ice and adrenaline, the other of rhythm and resonance. The symbolic handover of the number 1 jersey became a visual exclamation mark to a night already heavy with anticipation. But what exactly does this number mean? And why is it so relevant, especially now, for the New Jersey Devils? Jersey numbers are more than numerical identifiers. They represent hierarchy, history, leadership, and legacy. The number 1, in particular, is rare, typically reserved for goaltenders, protectors of the last line, those under immense pressure who must remain calm and focused amidst chaos. Yet in this case, it was given to Jin, an artist, not an athlete. But perhaps the parallels are more than coincidental, because Jin, too, is a guardian of BTS's legacy, of ARMY's emotions, and of his own untouchable standard of sincerity. What does it mean when the captain of a team entrusts his city's symbolic identity to an artist from an entirely different world? The answer is layered. It is a gesture of honor, yes, but also of recognition. Nico Hischier's choice to hand Jin the number 1 jersey was a calculated one. Not just as a representative of the Devils, but as someone who understands the burden and beauty of leading when stakes are high. Jin, often dubbed the emotional core of BTS, has recently returned to the public stage after a period of silence that left fans clinging to every sign, every update. To be presented with this jersey, custom-made, one of a kind, and visibly rich with meaning, is not an empty token. It is a salute from one leader to another. This isn't the first time music and sports have intersected. But rarely do these intersections result in something as emotionally charged and visually symbolic as this. The arena was still dark. Sound checks were still underway. But the room grew silent as the jersey was unveiled. The number 1, stitched in sharp contrast against the deep red and black of the Devils' signature palette, drew audible gasps from those present. Jin accepted the jersey quietly, but those who observed him reported a brief, unmistakable tightening around his jaw, a flicker of contained emotion. Why now? Why Newark? Newark holds a particular weight in Jin's tour. Though every city welcomes BTS with overwhelming energy, Newark has become known among fans for its unique intensity. The fans here are louder, more emotional, and less restrained. It is the city where ARMY cries openly, where banners are bolder, where Jin himself once whispered, "This place feels different." For this city to gift back something equally personal, through its team, through its captain, through a jersey meant for warriors, is a full-circle moment. The number 1 could have easily been replaced with his birthday number, a concert date, or even BTS's iconic 7. But it wasn't. The decision was deliberate. Because Jin is not just one of 7 tonight. He is the one. The only one on stage. The only one carrying the voice of a group currently scattered across timelines, service, and schedules. The only one facing tens of thousands alone with the task of representing not just music, but memories. That is the essence of the number one. Not dominance, but responsibility. Hischier, though quiet in demeanor, is known for his strategic thinking. As the youngest captain in the history of the New Jersey Devils, he understands scrutiny, leadership under pressure, and the loneliness of command. Handing over this jersey to Jin wasn't a spontaneous show of hospitality. It was a silent, heavy tribute from one leader to another, a message that only those who have truly borne weight on their shoulders can fully interpret, and Jin understood it. His posture changed as he held the jersey. This wasn't merchandise. It wasn't a fan gift. It wasn't performative. It was real. He held it like something sacred, not flashy. No social media post followed. No press statement. Just the quiet carrying of something deeply symbolic into a night that would, as fans would later testify, be one of his most powerful performances. There was no announcement during the concert. No jersey-wearing moment on stage. But those who knew, those who had witnessed the handover, couldn't unsee the weight it carried into Jin's voice, into the way he sang certain notes longer, into how he paused before key lyrics, into the slightly damp eyes that lingered longer on the final bow. The number one had entered the building hours earlier, but it remained in every spotlight beam, in every cheer, in every fan's breathless chant. And perhaps that's the point. The jersey didn't need to appear on stage, because it had already become part of the night's spirit. There are those who will say it was just a jersey, just a gesture. But for those who truly understand Jin's current chapter, the burdens of holding a group's emotional center while navigating a solo tour, the significance is crystal clear. No one else could have worn that jersey tonight. No one else deserved it. And no other moment could have carried its full weight the way Newark did, just hours before the lights went out and the music began. This is more than a collaboration. It is a statement about identity, resilience, and quiet power. Jin did not ask to be seen as number one. But tonight, he was given that title by a city and a team that understands what it means to carry a legacy, and for ARMY, many of whom have cried, waited, hoped, and held on. It was a signal that their loyalty, like Jin's endurance, has not gone unnoticed. So the question remains, what will Jin do with the weight of that jersey? Will he wear it, frame it, leave it in Newark, or carry it into the next city like a silent talisman? Perhaps he doesn't need to answer, because sometimes the most powerful declarations are the ones left unspoken, stitched not in sound, but in symbol. Tonight, the number one wasn't about winning. It was about standing alone with grace, with pressure, and with dignity. And in that, Jin didn't just accept a gift, he became the message itself. But the weight of being number one doesn't fade once the cameras stop flashing. It lingers in the silence backstage, in the echo of a final note, in the eyes of fans who understood what wasn't said aloud. For Jin, this jersey may not simply symbolize honor, it may also be a reminder of isolation. After all, the number one stands alone. It does not lean on others. It leads, it shields, and sometimes it suffers quietly. And this is where the emotional gravity deepens. Jin, who once stood shoulder to shoulder with 6 others, now faces arenas alone. The cheers are still deafening, the love is still boundless, but the space beside him remains empty. Accepting the number one jersey isn't just an act of recognition, it is a confrontation with that loneliness. A visual acknowledgement that tonight, and perhaps for many nights to come, Jin is the front line, the center, the only visible heartbeat of BTS on stage. That's why the symbolism matters so deeply. Nico Hischier didn't hand over a jersey as a mere formality. He handed over a role, an unspoken oath that Jin has already been fulfilling without asking for acknowledgement. In that simple handoff, the captain of one team saw the unshakable strength in the leader of another. The fans, though unaware of the full backstory, felt the ripple. Many began speculating immediately about the meaning of the number one, flooding online spaces with emotional responses. Some called it a sign of Jin's dominance. Others saw it as a subtle tribute to him being the first to return after military service. But for those who truly listened to Jin, not just his music but his silences, the message was clear. He carries all of them with him, even when he stands alone. In the end, it wasn't just about a jersey. It was about what it dared to say in the quietest way. That Jin, with every step on that Newark stage, wasn't just performing. He was leading. And not just leading a concert, but leading a legacy still being written. Alone. Number 1.